You let me down. There you go.
Do they have is the link out? Can we pass out some links real quick? Oh,
Um,
I don't want to just hit my song for no reason.
it should be automatically sent to the group and stuff, so you can go to the group and share that link.
Yep, here you go.
I was about to say I'm on my phone, so I can't do much on my phone.
I'm about to give them 1 minute of pregame time.
All right, we already at 30 seconds.
Wait, the show going on like right
I
now?
felt so much
Figuring
pressure.
stuff out.
Oh, we're on the show. This is a nigga podcast, okay?
Yeah,
Like
we live.
we pride ourselves on the niggeration of this.
We're on CPT right now.
Yeah,
So
it is what it is. But we live nonetheless. There go Wapo. What up, Wapo?
I'm gonna share the YouTube link real quick, and then I will start the show for real.
I know you got a song for us.
I do. I haven't wrote the song about to freestyle that thing, but I know what the tune gonna be.
You really have to watch the past podcasts to understand what he's doing.
Okay, gotcha. He freestyles us in each time. That's the formula we're going with.
You got a real DB voice. I swear I keep thinking DB like a black or DB is talking.
With DB?
Deshaun Byron.
Oh, okay.
Hey Bones, what Facebook users got to do again? It's been so long.
You gotta click on the link so we can see who's talking. It's
click on
like
the link.
Click on the link in the description so we can see who's talking.
Yeah, so we can see who refuses to support anything Bones does.
That's gotta be Dan.
I think so. All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Miller and Beast Mo Bones and this guy nobody knows about to talk about WrestleMania. Best show that I have seen since I was a something teen. Talking about WrestleMania 17. Oh.
All right, we in.
It wasn't bad, actually.
Sketch Lucas said when I was younger, something about sizzling. It's the elbow drop. It's the elbow drop. Podcast back on. It's the elbow drop, and we back again. Me and Bobby and this boring guy whose name I cannot remember. He looks just like.
But why is your voice cracking like that, bro?
Whoa! Welcome to the Elbow Drop Podcast. I'm just like you, only smarter and better looking.
You know the elbow drop is back when Bones is singing. You already know what it is.
Welcome. As we come back, we have a special guest, Panther on Acid Productions. I feel like he got another name. I just cannot remember what it is.
Y'all can just go by that. You know, it helps the plug anyway. Helps it stick in the brain. Why is your shirt lying, by the way? The first thing that I come on with this show, and you're wearing a shirt with lies on it. Terrible. It's terrible broadcasting.
Look, is something wrong with my feed? my feed must be messed up on your end.
Really?
This is why you can't deal with the light skinned niggas right here. Immediately upset about being smart.
For the folks in the BWO, if y'all don't know by now, this is the Randy Weber. You see him,
Randy Weber.
You see him posting on our group all the time. We have our differences, but he's a lot cool of guy.
The only person I disagree with more than Bobby Miller. Like this is probably the one show. This is probably the one show where I'm gonna sing like I'm on Bobby's side. of all time.
And that's bad.
That's good. That's good. You know, yeah, that's right. We're bringing the heat on this show. It's going to be hot arguments, hot debates.
Before we get into WrestleMania, I just have to ask you one question just to see where you really stand. 1992 Royal Rumble, good or bad?
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
No, I'll accept that answer as neutral.
Okay, yeah.
It's the greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
The greatest Rumble of all time is 2001.
Cool, much better than you. You wouldn't think 92 was good then. Just to get that out the way. You wouldn't. It's the opposite of
You sure
2001.
he would? You
It's
sure?
the opposite. I'm not sure, but it's the opposite of 2001. Like all
It
the things
really.
you love in 2001 is like the complete other opposite. All right. So tonight we are here to talk about WrestleMania 40. We had no choice but to come back for WrestleMania 40. 40. Why I keep saying 40? Fire Bones and replace him with Trent. I hate Trent. Like moving on. We're gonna zoom through these matches because I'm sure we're gonna have a bunch of hot takes that we're gonna have to argue about. So we're gonna talk about the match fast if it ain't important. And speaking of matches not being important, Rhea Ripley defeated Becky Lynch by pinfall.
She did that. I think it was a cool match. I don't remember much of it. Everybody said it was a great match, but it was fine.
I thought it was a good match. I thought it was solid. Thought they had good chemistry together. It was smooth. You probably knew that Rhea was going to win though, because I think it would have been crazy to kill this run that she's on now with like the first contender who mattered that she was against. So,
real quick, what do you think is next for? Like, what is there? I guess lives after Monday.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Because the entire time of Rhea's reign, she's been beating mostly jobbers, and then we get like one contender who matters.
I did that, Bobby.
That was some low ass shit. Damn.
Yes, I mean she's been beating mostly jobbers. Then she fought one person who mattered at Mania. So if she goes to live, it feels kind of like a downgrade. So I don't know. Maybe
I don't think that, but I'm the most biased person on here about Liv, so
I like Liv, but she's not on the level of Rhea and Becky. She's like a mid to upper mid carder. Rhea needs to be beating main eventers. That's how I feel. So that needs to be her next opponent, someone on that level.
Facebook user, click the link so we know who you are.
So yeah, moving on.
And also we have Tyler Drummond, everybody.
Oh shit, you're Tyler Drummond.
I was smoking. It took me a minute to get here.
What else would we expect? Tyler Drummond don't drink no more because he's a vagina. So
anybody hit him with a fuck Shady yet? If not, I'll be the first.
Fuck Shady in chat. All right. So we are moving on. We're trying to run through these, Tyler, because we're just trying to get to the big points. So A-Town Down Under versus the Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day versus DIYX
match
versus New Day versus I'm already through it now versus the New Catch Republic. That match was cool. Our Truth got his moment. That's really important here, really, right?
Yeah, that is the importance. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody agrees it's just a happy ending. I want to say that at no point am I going to say any match is bad. Okay, at no point was any match bad.
I have to remember as we're going, but I tend to agree with you right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cool ladder match. It was a fairly typical ladder match, plus the cool R-Truth stuff that elevated it past that.
I mean, obviously, one of the top moments of the night was R-Truth getting the hot tag.
Yeah.
Right.
And you knew it was going to happen, but still, it was entertaining nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, before we get too far into it, Becky Rhea, what y'all rated? We do a 10 rating, no half points.
7.
Yeah, 1 through 10 rating. Star rating, no half point. 7. What'd you say, Bones?
7.
How about you, Tyler?
7 sounds about right.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 too. And what we rate the ladder match?
8. And it was really for the air raid crash. I literally just only the air raid crash takes it from a 7 to 8 for me.
I'm gonna give that one a 7 too.
I'm gonna go 6 only because DIY didn't win anything.
I'm gonna point out that Bobby's face was like me, but his arms look like Randy.
Here you go, man. I'm about to put on the jacket, man. Where my hoodie at? God damn.
Bro, he just complimented your arms, man. Embrace that.
Being light skinned is never complimented. Got throw some dirt on my arms or something now.
Man said he's the best of both worlds, light and dark. All right,
I give it a 7 too, though. So
moving on. Jimmy versus Jey Uso. Anybody have strong opinions about this match?
I don't. I've heard everyone say that they hate it, and I don't get it. I don't think it was great,
You
but I
need
don't think it
to
was
watch
bad.
the match a second or third time. Then I won't say it was bad, but it wasn't more than like a 6 for me. But I think a lot of it had to do with storytelling. I think they ran into two inherent problems. One, they have very, very similar move sets, so it felt like you were watching the same wrestler the whole way through. And number two, they really struggled to tell the story because Jimmy had no strength coming into that match. He was just a lackey for Roman Reigns, and yeah, he got a little over on Jey Uso, but they didn't build it for the match of a lifetime. It was a letdown for me. I mean, I'd give it a 6.
I think it should have been more intense. I would say that I think that they also wanted to save a lot for the main event, so they didn't let them do a lot. But that being said, I mean, I thought it was a solid enough match. It could have just been more intense.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with the thing about Jimmy. He didn't have a lot of heat. Also, the build still, and we've argued in the group about this a lot. The build still made no sense at all, and they clearly realized that because they edited a more coherent storyline around it by pretending like Jimmy didn't turn first.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where you were right before you were right. So like, I was disagreeing with you back then before we seen what would happen. I was like, well, it still can make sense, but they did not go the route that made it make sense. It just
Mhm.
didn't. And I
Yeah.
will say this: I'm extremely disappointed in these two Negroes. Because how is it that you can't put together a great match if you've been planning this shit your whole life? I'm not a wrestler, but I tell you what, if me and my cousin have a match right now, that shit gonna be fire. At least on paper. Like we
I've
might
seen
not be able
people.
to do it, but you know what I'm saying? Like we
Love
already
that
have the
idea.
story.
I've seen
It's-
people say it's the worst of the 3 brother versus brother matches that have happened. Worse
Well,
than
it
match.
definitely wasn't better than Fred vs. Owen. I mean,
Definitely
that's
wasn't better than
Yeah.
Bedford's Owen.
And it's
But
not better than Jeff
but
versus
to
Matt
be
either, so I would have to agree. Not by
it
I don't
is
think Matt's
better
shit.
than it was better than Jeff versus Matt.
I knew.
No.
Owen's face was awesome there.
It was definitely better than Jeff. Jeff
You just don't like Jeff, bro.
Oh,
because he's not good
Y'all
though.
took the bait perfectly.
So like I don't like him because he's not good.
But,
It'd be different if he,
no, he's
so when
actually very
so
good. You are the only black person who does not like Jeff Hardy, and that makes you deserving of excommunication.
I am the only black person here who understands what excommunication means. Stop using big words for everybody else. Luckily, other than that, I wouldn't know either. But point being, I'm the only person who's not hypnotized by the fact that he was really cool and different when I was 12 and never forgot about it. I look
Also,
back
he
and
did a
said,
ton of cool spots that we all remember.
yeah, he has 5 cool spots that we all remember over the course of 30 years. And a bunch of bad. He has for every cool spot you can name, I can name 12 botches. How he's the only person that I know that has a specific move that he does all of the time, and he always misses it. He's 75% on his signature move. Who else is 75% missing their signature move of anybody? Picture a pitcher who throws a fastball and 75% of the time it's a ball. A fastball down the middle. Anyway,
I
definitely number
can't
2.
even really argue with the missed move argument. That is pretty true.
So I give that match a 5. It's not bad. I'm gonna give it a 6 because it's a 5 compared to other matches, but I give it a 6.
I'm giving this a 6 also.
Yeah. Moving on. What
Tyler's not gonna give it nothing.
I thought
I let it off with a 6.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why all the rest of you picked 6.
The ending was
That's
rushed.
my theory. Whoever gives the first number, everybody else just kind of sticks around it because nobody wants to be the one that sticks out. Like nobody's gonna say it was an 8. Nobody's gonna say it was a 3. Yeah, we all
give me
Nah, not
time.
yet. We
I'm not gonna say none of 3 though. All right, so we're going to Jade Cargill, the greatest wrestler of all time, and Naomi versus Damage Control.
I'm glad Jade Cargill didn't look bad.
Yeah, I loved it for what it was.
They made her look good. And even based on the Raw after Mania, it looks like they are basically doing right by Jade in her presentation.
They're doing yeah. It did what it needed to do. It made Jade look good. Damage Control sold everything she did like death. I thought that was great. I do think if you're looking at it with some sort of discernment, you could tell she's still a little awkward. Some of those kicks didn't land well. I think they need to like this works for now, but I do think they're going to need to make sure she's like ready for a full match by like the next few months. I don't think they're going to be able to let this last for a really long time. Not in this era.
I mean,
But
she went 50-0 in AEW.
Girlberg is fine.
that's true. And
Okay.
that audience turned on it because it was an AEW audience. WWE can work for longer, but it's not going to work forever.
Girlberg is fine. The most important thing that we need to. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Randy. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought it did what it needed to do, and I thought it worked here. Bianca really carried it for the babyface side, and made like a full match out of it to set up Jade, and I thought that was all done well.
I was about to say yes, Bones. Bianca did awesome too.
Yeah.
Bianca. The reason that this match was great was solely Bianca. The entrance wise, I'm glad. But what makes me happiest about this match is that I thought we was gonna get like a whole Jade thing, like Bianca and Naomi was gonna get beat up the whole time, and then Jade was gonna finally come in, like when Almost first had his match with New Day.
Yeah.
AJ just fought the whole time, then almost came in and dominated. I thought that's what we were gonna get, but in reality, what we got was Bianca beat the shit out of them girls. And then Jay came in and just like kicked some people in the head. In reality, like it's just like every other WrestleMania. It's just a Bianca showcase every time.
All right, so what do you guys think of the fact that they basically took 3 black women who prior didn't really have any relationship to each other and put them together with a Wingstop ad? I have seen a lot of people talk about that. What do you guys think of that? Because I've seen a lot of.
I think they're intentionally pandering by putting the 3 black women together. As a white guy, that was the first thing I thought was, oh, cool, all 3 black chicks in the same group. But then I saw them actually in the ring together and cut promos off each other and what they could do to other people, and I'm like, okay, so maybe this is
the other 2
maybe this is what the hell was it? Not the New Day. What the fuck was the Bobby Lashley faction? The Hurt Business. What the Hurt Business should have been, with a real dominant faction. I mean, I would be there for that, but I don't know anything about the Wingstop. I don't know anything about first. I don't know anything about black people or chicken or anything like that, so I don't know what you guys are referencing with that. But I thought the ads in general.
You don't know anything about chicken?
No. At least it wasn't sponsored by fucking Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes was hilarious. Wipes. That was because of Rikishi.
That was something else.
All right, so the
thing about
other black people, please answer the question.
My thing about it is that I don't even know if I feel that way because immediately when Jay came, she was fantasy booked to be with Bianca by everybody anyway.
But why do you think that is? There are other muscular women. Why Bianca?
First off, ain't no other muscular women like Bianca.
They look identical.
Ain't no other muscular women like Bianca. There wasn't nobody was fantasy booking Jay with Naomi though.
Rhea Ripley. I mean, I consider that a great match for her.
I'm talking about for real muscular.
Rhea's for real.
Not like no Bianca. Huh?
She's
compared to Bianca?
She's at least as muscular as Bianca, and Bianca's a little bit shorter.
Man, when Rhea and Bianca stand next to each other, Rhea looks like me.
That's not true.
Bianca is the buffest.
She looks better than you. She's not bald.
Well, she ain't the buffest no more with Jay Cargill there.
She looks better than. Did you see them side by side? In them side by side, I was like, dang! I used to think Jay had abs.
Bro, stop it! This is a bit. You're doing a
bit. I swear to man, I wish I could pull a picture up right now and show y'all. You gonna go after this and go back and look at those pictures where they pointing and tell me you're gonna look at that and be like, okay, yeah, Jay might got
checking for my main point. But yeah, like why do you think they specifically chose Bianca? Bianca's a much better worker than Jade, just like Rhea is. And there are other muscular women too. But
yeah, they've been just everybody, and it's not just. I mean, it's society wide because black people too has been totally making Jade and Bianca this thing for forever. Yeah. So I mean, it's 100% because I'm with you. It's 100% because she's black, and I mean, I think it's a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really have a.
I don't think it's that bad of a thing. And they have amazing chemistry with each other, and it works fine. I love it.
Okay.
This match was really fun. The other part of it. Shout out to the Asian girls and Dakota Kai looked like Tyler does in this promo. I mean, this
I think another part of it though too is I don't think Jade is quite as strong on the mic yet as what she should be. And so if you put someone like Bianca with her, that's going to help her shine because Bianca can carry the load with the talking.
Might, yeah.
Bianca can
that's
carry
it,
the load of anything on those shoulders.
Oh my god. All right, so I get that match a 7.
I'm gonna give it as like an actual match, probably like a 6. I don't think I thought the match did what it was supposed to do very well, but I wouldn't consider it a great match. You know, like that's so I'm
Well, I'm
giving
glad
it
none of my kids had class with you. Like, if you were a teacher, I wouldn't want my kids in your class at all, man. You a tough ass grader.
Oh yeah, I am, bro.
You know,
100%.
the black
I'm not
podcast.
dating
Yes,
no
You're trying to
y'all-
tell the guys that the
everybody.
3 black chicks in the group put
I
together
saw
a
his
match that
post
was a
earlier.
6.
Y'all gonna think that later on.
I'm gonna say 8.
I'm gonna go 7. It's hard because I'm kind of with Randy, but at the same time, does it really matter like the technicalities of the match as much as how much I enjoyed it? Because like for me, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels for an hour with 1 pin was terrible.
Yeah,
So like,
I get what
whoever
you're saying. Yeah.
go click on the thing so we can see what your fucking name is. We sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well,
because I
check
had
out
somebody
business.
blocked. I was like, who the fuck I got blocked that I can't see who's making these comments? But now it makes sense because they didn't click to actually register in.
I'm gonna have to go on my phone so I can call you out. This is the Real Nigga Podcast, and Randy and Bobby and Tyler.
Shut up. What's the next match?
Moving
man?
on, we have Sami Zayn dethroning Gunther 666 day reign as Intercontinental Champion.
Phenomenal match. The best David and best Goliath in wrestling right now. It was perfect for both of them. Crazy hard hitting. Every match that Gunther has is at least an 8. And with Sami Zayn,
So we just gonna
Sami
look
Zayn
past
has
the
That's
it.
my
fact that he
first
beat
off.
the
That's
shit
my
out of
thing.
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn turned into some kind of zombie on the fucking fish out of water on the mat, flopping around, and he got up and somehow just kicked the shit out of Gunther in about 30 seconds. Like,
That's-
we're gonna look past that because that's
No,
what
no.
brings the match down.
You're-
Hard hitting match, and I loved it, but the storytelling at that point didn't make any sense.
I totally
Oh,
agree
that's
with that.
wrestling.
That was going to be exactly what I was going to say next. That was the one weakness of the match was that the finish.
You can accomplish what they wanted to accomplish there without making Sami Zayn look like a fish out of water. Like, he could have hulked up in a much different fashion than what he did.
It could have just been
It looked cheap. It looked
It
fake.
could have been a gradual comeback. I had the same complaint about last year's match with Sammy, where like the super kicks had left him like basically like it concussed, and then all of a sudden he's like, "All right, I'm fine now," and then he hit a haluva kick and won. I had
Right.
the same exact complaint, so I give it a 9 because that's the one thing to take away from it.
Okay.
I love how you guys talk a lot. It's rare that somebody just comes out and just every time gets the first word out on me before I can get to it, and I actually appreciate that. I'm not even being sarcastic.
Okay.
It's because I'm high. I talk a lot when I'm fucking high.
I want to say first and foremost that the biggest takeaway for me for this match was Sami Zayn's wife was like she rolled out of bed and walked to the arena like she didn't know she was gonna be on TV that day.
Yeah, that was really weird to me. Like, I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
lifestyle they live, but she looked like fucking homeless woman. Like,
Bro, she's like,
okay, I'm okay with the fact that she don't look like a fucking supermodel that's all plastic up
I
or
am-
whatever. But
try.
she should
I
have
know his shirt.
I
Tell his
like
shirt.
that
or something.
for
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's wife because that's Sami Zayn's whole appeal. The like everyman. I'm not polished. I'm like a regular guy. I look
Yeah,
like a
but she
hobo.
knew
I
she was
don't
gonna be
care.
on
regular-
TV. She's
regular
backstage. She
women
could have
do
at least
their
put his
hair, though.
fucking shirt on.
Yeah, regular women wear makeup when they're gonna be on TV.
No, I get that, but like I feel like him and his wife being like that and Sammy not caring about that, I feel plays into the kind of personality you'd expect him to have.
I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this match. I did not.
I'm a
I
ginger.
wasn't- I did not buy into Sami Zayn before this match. Like, I even right now, I still feel like Sammy and Chad Gable, the complete roles that they had should have been switched like from the beginning, from way back 6 months ago. It should have been Sammy losing those matches and then training up Gable, and then Gable should have been the one to do this match. But they sold it so well right before the match that immediately when the match started, I was like, all right, I care. I want Sammy to win. I'm rooting for Sammy now. And the payoff was worth it.
I did not care until directly before a match. Once I got over looking at his wife and he went to go talk to KO. His wife didn't do it for me. I kind of felt like he should lose this match if he coming up here looking like this. But once I
know we're gonna
get the KO.
I know we're gonna get to it. But can I just say it? I think WWE
like
missed an opportunity there to have a moment with Kevin Owens winning the United States Championship.
Thank you.
Celebrating with Sami Zayn. Like, I know we're gonna get to that match, and maybe it wasn't the right call, but even if Kevin was a transitional champion, you could have given them the moment of both being mid-card champions. Everything switches into the Hunter area, and then you set it up how you want. But I think they missed a moment there.
We got so many moments though.
We'll get to the match, but I don't agree. I think you can do more with Logan Paul as the U.S. champion, and I don't think
that too.
Yeah, I don't think putting the belt on KO just for the night and then not having a good plan for after would have been better than just keeping it on Logan.
Considering we got so many moments.
Mm-hmm.
But
and also it would have felt too telegraphed.
Okay, I get that. But that match it was phenomenal. I give it a 9.
8.
Hater. Hater numbers.
Are you going higher than 8?
No, yeah, I went 9.
Oh.
What did you say, Tyler?
I went 9 with the rest of you.
Except for me.
Except for both who went 8.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm a 9.
Heard you was more like a 5. All right, so we're moving on. The Bloodline, which is The Rock and Roman Reigns, defeated Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. Seth had a bad weekend.
Seth had a real bad weekend.
Very, very bad.
Terrible weekend.
Match also was incredible. Absolutely loved it. It started kind of slow. Like, I know that they were doing pacing. Like, I know, like, big fight feel like that's a normal thing. I felt like at the beginning it was maybe a little too slow, but once the hockey fight started, it was just incredible from there. It just felt like such an epic journey. It was long, but the time really felt warranted.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt warranted. It felt earned. Like, it felt like the time was like, well, like every bit of it, if you took anything away from it, it would have lost something. Like, it was just that good. That's how I felt about it. It was great.
I feel like that match lasted forever. That match was long as shit.
I don't think it lasted forever.
It was 1 hour.
Intros lasted forever.
Both were forever, actually. The match in itself was 50 minutes. The intros were 30.
Yeah, long ass fucking segment.
But I feel like, and I said this in our chat live while it was happening, I feel like it would have been better if somehow, I don't know how they would have did it with that long of a match in hindsight now, but I just feel like somehow they should have made it to where Cody and Roman didn't interact.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Somehow.
Also, I agree with what Ed said, that The Rock I didn't know what to think of The Rock at like 50 or whatever, taking bumps, but he did a really good job with that. The only problem, well, I have 2 problems. The one that, like, the beginning being slow and the end, I don't think The Rock should have pinned Cody. I don't think this, like, 50-something-year-old man should be putting himself over the future world champion. But 2, I also don't think they should have won. And we'll get to the main event of night 2. The main event of night 2 was a mess because of that decision. So I think Cody should have just gone over The Rock, and I think that would have been great.
I saw your night 2 synopsis, and we'll get to that last little thing that you said.
Yeah.
But as far as The Rock going over, we'll keep it at that. I think it was fair, and it set up a lot of storytelling going on. It set up what we saw Monday as far as The Rock eventually as far as The Rock bringing that up and eventually getting his payback with Cody, his match with Cody, and it brings up an interesting scenario whenever we get to The Rock and Roman Reigns. It's like The Rock pinned him, but Roman didn't. Now The Rock got something over his head.
Okay. It could lead to that. Sure. I think the problem with the build to the match, the build was mostly great, but Cody was basically emasculated throughout almost the entire build. The Rock beat his ass.
Click
Roman
on the
beat his
link,
ass.
Loveless. I know that's you.
That's gotta be Loveless.
Yeah, it's Loveless. Yeah, like he just got his ass beat constantly. He got embarrassed by The Rock, and then he gets pinned by the boss, and then he wins the world championship. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's weird. I think Cody should have looked a lot more dominant going into it and stronger, because I think that justifies him winning the title more.
It's the Daniel Bryan story that they keep trying to recreate. The
Yeah,
underdog
in a way,
story.
this one in a smaller way, thankfully. As I was gonna say, whenever it was my turn to talk,
Mhm.
talking, motor mouth motherfuckers.
Shut up. Talk me.
I'm being a baby, bro. Don't.
My thing about this match today, it literally felt like it was 15 minutes too long. When it was about the last 15 minutes, like, all right, I'm just waiting this shit to end now. I ain't got the stamina like y'all do to be watching these matches for that long. Like, my attention span is not about to last that long. I got through the entrances, which weren't even special. Like, none of the motherfuckers were special. So I still am disappointed by that. The Rock
Rock's
entrance actually was
had
the
fucking
Rock
his
entrance was less cool than his entrance was the night before. Everything. He didn't do the lightning. I'm in the dark. I'm in the dark. He didn't do all that shit. So it was less interesting with the fire around him. And he only did that shit because it was cold and he a diva. So all of that shit was like a normal ass entrance to me. And then we get to the ring and then fucking regular ass. I mean, it was a good match. It was a really good match. I was gripping. I was into it. You know what I'm saying? And The Rock telling the referee that he does that if you count us out, you're gonna get fired. The Rock doesn't fuck around. Fire.
Really liked
Right?
that too. Yeah, it gave them an out to justify the ref letting them do all the cool things out in the ring they wanted to do.
Exactly. That's one of the best reasons to not count out of all time for me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really enjoyed this match, but man, it was too long
It was
for
long.
me.
Yeah.
It was too long for me. Like I was just ready for it to be over with.
Did anyone else have
Mike,
a problem with?
I know I sound like
Roman-
Lisa Drummond.
What's up?
I said I sound like Lisa Drummond.
fucked off.
That's Tyler's wife.
Did anyone else have a problem with Roman
Yes.
getting
Yes.
to Crossroads and then just getting up to do the
Oh
spear?
my God, I had so much of a problem with that.
Yeah, I was annoyed by
Thanks
that.
for reminding me of that. This man takes 2 crossroads and then it's like it never happened. I motherfucking hate that. And we watch AEW? Like that was the AEW shit of all time. That's the
Yeah.
shit I hate AEW
that
for
shit
the
was-
most.
That's my other
If
problem.
he don't connect with the 3rd crossroads, it's no longer a finisher. Like,
Uh-huh.
but if he does 1 crossroads, it's a finisher. But if he does 2, he has to connect with the 3rd one. The 2nd one gives him more energy, but the 3rd one takes him out the energy for the 2nd and the 1st combined. So if he don't do 3 together, then you're gonna be fully rested. That makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I had 3 problems with it. That's the 3rd one.
I had so much problem with that.
All right. Overall, it was still an entertaining match. I'll give it an 8.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go down
give it a
to.
9.
I'm gonna stay at 8
Yeah,
because of that. Because of the length and because of that fucking ignoring the shit out of a finisher.
Yeah, it's
Taking
mostly
2
the
of
length
them.
for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what she said.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I think the problems that I raised are small enough to only take the 1 point off for me.
What you give it, Tyler?
I'm giving it a 9.5 because anything The Rock does makes me moist, and I appreciate that.
These are true statements.
I mean, the fucking guy is just, I've only ever seen him live once, but he's my goat of goats. And the fact that he entered the ring, looked good, and didn't have to be slow the whole time really makes me sad he's got to film a couple movies now, because a lengthened run would have been really nice. But I hope he comes back in the same shape, because I think he could rip a 25, 30-minute match and probably be okay. And that would be exciting to see.
The Rock is solely the reason why Tyler fights so hard for black people.
Oh, my God. I champion the black cause because of The Rock.
All right, moving on to
night
night
2.
Folks.
You happy, Trevor? He's been telling us to hurry up and get to night 2.
Hey, why isn't he on here? Jump on.
Who Who knows?
I don't know why he's not on here.
You knew I was coming on tonight. That's why.
So moving on to night 2. Night 1 sounded like we all enjoyed it, but it was not the greatest of all time. It was just really fun. Can we all agree that's where we're at on night 1?
Agreed.
As a whole. All right, so night 1, Drew McIntyre versus Seth freaking Rollins.
I
loved it.
Yeah,
Seth
I
Rollins.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just go first because I got the least to say about this match. I just thought they did it perfect. I mean, Seth sold everything well. Drew was the heel he needed to be, and his hubris got the best of him. He was able to be a cocky bitch throughout the whole build, and it never bit him in the ass. And then it finally did. And it was gorgeous the way he did it because he turned on Punk. Punk leg swept him, hit him with his thing, his arm brace. You know, Damian Priest is down.
No, did he?
What?
You said he hit him with his thing.
He hit him with his arm brace.
With his what?
His thing, his arm brace.
Do that again?
Fuck off. Hit him with the arm brace.
Man, my thing
I
about
thought it
this
was great
match
that Damian Priest gets his cash in, which is something they definitely needed to do. But I liked it. I'll give it a 9. I enjoyed the whole segment from beginning to end.
I thought it was exactly. I agree. I thought it was exactly what it should be. When I was thinking about what they should do, I thought
Check your DMs, Loveless.
Exactly what they did. Basically exactly what they did is what they should do. The only thing that I wasn't sure about is how do you have Drew get his moment and then have it taken away by a heel and not have that turn Drew face. And they did that perfectly by having it be Drew's own fault because he was being a dickhead.
Yeah.
So I agree. I thought it was great.
The other thing, and I don't know, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to add on to what you were saying. I don't know if they meant to do this intentionally or if they called the audible the day of, but it seemed like they kind of heard the reception from night 1 being kind of a dud aside from the last match. So this match seemed like it shot out of a fucking cannon. I mean, you got Drew McIntyre hitting the Claymore right away. It was just a finish fest, and they were hitting huge spots on each other, and it seemed like they were doing everything they can to get the crowd super invested right off the bat to give it a better feel than night 1 had.
Yeah,
I have the least to say about this match, so I'm gonna go first and talk for 30 minutes. Dick.
I mean, I've become such a big fan of Drew throughout this run. I've loved everything that he's done. So I was a little when he lost the title that quickly, but it was the right call within the context.
All right, so I got a couple things I need to say. The first one is that I love that y'all talked so long. Y'all gave me time to think of jokes in my head. So first and foremost, Seth Rollins' entrance was fire, and I was still a joke from sketch. That I can't remember the guy's name now. No Way Jose is somewhere crying right now after losing his entrance.
I didn't like
the most important thing about this, because y'all already talked about everything. The most important thing about this is that Randy, congratulations for cashing in.
What?
Congratulating Randy for cashing in on Drew McIntyre.
Chill out.
Let's see who's
You
here.
got to go.
Don't bring him in the middle of my joke while everybody's still confused by it and didn't get the punchline.
Yeah, just be happy I'm
I'm
in the
trying to
middle.
save you from awkwardness.
Randy looks like Damian Priest.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the
you should be happy that Loveless
on the
saved you
Elbow
from
Drop
that joke.
podcast. We've been
No, it
trying
was gonna get way different.
Hold on. We've been trying to get this man on the Elbow Drop podcast for about 3 years now.
So you see,
We finally got him.
He's actually banned from the Elbow Drop podcast. I had nothing to do with this.
yeah, I was trying to come back, but they said I was
lied to me so many times.
He here now. Let's let him do his thing.
All right.
Y'all don't like
Was that his thing? Was that his thing?
Loveless, give us all of your
Good job.
opinions at once.
That was way to do your thing.
I'm waiting on you. I'm just trying to chime in. I don't want to interfere with Bones saying. I just want to I just said I'm just listening right now.
We were just
Y'all Seth Rollins
just
still?
talking about Drew.
Yeah, we talking about Drew himself. Everybody didn't already said their piece. What you think
I
about Drew
already
himself?
said it all, except for the fact that I was going to say like a bisexual Undertaker.
My input on that,
Randy like bisexual Undertaker.
that was maybe the most predictable match on the card because there was no way Drew could have lost. Like there was no possible way.
There's plenty
But-
of possible ways.
I don't know.
It's
It was
like an idiot,
missing from that because I guess it was so predictable, but also it felt like it was more story to it. Because I felt like Seth we all know how the story goes. Seth sacrificed his championship in his reign for Cody to win, but Steph still got no payoff from it. So I don't really understand the concept.
Hold on, okay, because this was like a big thing that I argued with Trevor about, was that thing that you just brought up. So I'm glad that we're talking about that. Seth doing anything that he did not make any sense.
Right.
And his entire storyline around this made no sense. And we're going to talk about it. He hated Cody. He tried to murder Cody with a sledgehammer like a year ago. And now, for basically no reason, not only is he wrestling a match to help Cody with nothing on the line for him, but doing so risking injury, that ended up costing him his world title.
But how doesn't that make any sense? I mean, from a fighter standpoint, like maybe if you're a fighter, from a standpoint, you're like, I'm not going to put myself in harm's way. But Seth has always been billed as the workhorse. He's always been billed as the company guy. He knew how evil more Roman Reigns would be, how evil Roman Reigns with The Rock would be. So by any means necessary, get the belt away from him. It's the ultimate sacrifice a company guy can make.
The last time he feuded with Roman was way before he feuded with Cody.
Yeah, but
he watches the product and sees how much Roman Reigns gets interference help to win all of his matches, and I think it made sense from an.
He respected Cody, and he see that Roman Reigns kind of started to overshadow everything else in that company. So it was just like a
I don't get it.
Enemy is a friend.
I don't get it from a he's a face standpoint, but if it was coming from a heel standpoint, I understand, because realistically, all this is that Seth is a motherfucking hater. So Seth like, oh, this nigga don't have to work, but I come in to work every day. This nigga ain't working. But y'all always saying he's the real champion. I'm not. Fuck Roman Reigns.
And then Cody never himself. What was Cody at? Cody never himself during that Seth Rollins Drew McIntyre match. Like there was no. We expected Cody not to, but it just never made sense to me. Then at the Royal,
it wouldn't make no sense. You making way no sense.
It's like
you going the other way.
From Cody just said, I already beat.
I see what he's trying to say, but it's not important. Oh God!
It just don't make.
You're not about to say my name without me coming to shut that shit down. Hell no!
Everyone's here. This is like the Marvel Civil War right now. This is great.
Seth hates Roman. That's it.
He hates Cody at least as much.
He hates him. He hates him more than anything else.
That had not been established. First of all, the only reason that the only reason that Roman and Seth hate each other is because of something Seth did to Roman.
No. Seth wants Roman gone. Roman represents everything. Roman being champion represents everything that Seth hates.
That's not enough. He cost himself the world title by doing this for somebody who he hated more recently. That's not enough. That doesn't make sense. He lost the world title.
He also respected Dusty, though.
That too.
That's a stretch. That is a huge stretch. I like your dad, so I'm going to risk my world title for his son.
Seth wouldn't be Seth without Dusty Rhodes. Like Dusty Rhodes sculpted him in NXT.
Then why was he feuding with Cody in the first place? He tried to murder Cody.
Well, because he was a dick at the time. He was a heel. Now he's a face.
Yeah, that's the problem with like wrestling logic, right? Like when you become a heel or become a face, all of a sudden you're friends with all of the other heels or faces, no matter what happened prior to that.
It wasn't all of a sudden.
It was
a gradual thing.
They fought. They were in war games,
which also didn't make sense.
Let me tell you why this don't make sense. The reason Seth Rollins never headlined WrestleMania, he never fucking headlined WrestleMania, right? Cody basically took that away from him. If not had been for The Rock made that stipulation of a tag team match, that alone should have made Cody hate. I mean, that should have made Seth hate Cody even more. You're taking. I never had a WrestleMania main event. Now you're taking it away from me.
I mean, you could also make that case too.
No, you can't make that case because he headlined WrestleMania. Never getting no main event anyway. He headlined WrestleMania, kinda.
He was a world
night one.
I can see from his
technically that's not headline. He main evented, but he didn't headline it because his name would have to be up there for.
Well, I mean, main evented. That's what I'm saying. He still main evented. So I'm saying, Loveless thing don't make sense.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
That
Yeah,
doesn't make sense at all, though.
But it came over time though. Like the Rock stipulation just came. That was an audible, as they said. So we don't really know if that would have went their way or not. But the tag team bullshit. The tag team match still was stupid to me, but it was a fun match. But
Classic Tyler.
All right, so moving on because we'll be here all day, and I don't have anything really to say because I'm kind of leaning towards what Randy's saying being right, and I don't want to do that. Next
you thought
match,
you were going to argue with me, but I've convinced you. I've cultivated
leaning towards you more than what anybody else is saying. So next match, the Pride versus the Final Testament. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed by these freaking entrances. What happened to Karrion Kross? Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah.
He made the Final Testament.
No, you know what happened to Karrion Kross? Do you know what happened to Karrion Kross, Randy? Jeff Hardy happened to Karrion Kross.
Yeah, that is true.
Got a point.
That wasn't his fault. He did not book that.
He let it happen.
That was Vince McMahon era. We got to excuse that.
Yeah, everything. Vince McMahon did it to hurt Triple H. Jeff got caught in the crossfire.
He wanted him to be he wanted to wear bondage and all that stuff.
Can we talk about the MVP of that match though? Snoop Dogg.
It's a double OPD, double just
Yeah, Snoop Dogg saved that match.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he was great. He should have been on commentary all of WrestleMania.
No, we're not gonna talk about.
No, we don't care about him.
You should have been here.
He's fragile.
So that match was really fun. Snoop Dogg made that match much better than it probably was. Like, at least for me hearing from Trevor and from hearing from Lamar, who's supposed to be here by now. That match wasn't as good to them watching live as it was to us, and that's because Snoop Dogg put it over the top. They ain't no picnic table, cuz.
That box spot made me cringe a little bit.
You just made a face that made me feel like you don't like black people.
Karrion Kross was not always going.
I love Snoop Dogg's part of it. I'm trying to think of how I feel about the match, because it was fun in parts, but it was also a mess.
It was fun. It was fun enough. It did its job.
6.
I give it a 7.
Oh, that botch with the table though.
Yeah,
that
brings it. It would have been a 6 without that, but because of it, it's a 5.
I'm still thinking the 6. I'm gonna ride that, but I feel your logic.
Somebody got fired for cutting that table that way.
I have to go with 6.
Also, why did they have the face woman interfere to break up a pin and have the heel woman come in and equalize it? Did you guys notice that too? When BFAB came to save it, yeah, BFAB came to save. I think it was Bobby who was being pinned, and then Scarlett was the one that chased her out. Like, why?
I mean,
she didn't want her team to lose.
You can't argue against Wrestle Logic and then use it in the next segment.
That's not true. She's a face.
I'm saying you were talking about how the whole Seth thing doesn't, like, it's a Wrestle Logic thing of the face does this and the heel does that. But like we're in this situation, you're talking about using wrestling logic in this match. Like in real life, if it's a no rules match, I'm trying to make sure my friend don't lose. You know what I'm saying? So like it shouldn't be considered to me because I'm 100% anti-heel face tropes. That's my thing, and that's me and Bobby beef.
No, I actually, for the most part, agree with that. But I think within the framing, if you're going to present them as people you should cheer, you shouldn't have them do things that are not cheer-worthy. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to sacrifice yourself. I can go beyond being a face. BFAB just cheated, and she could have just not cheated.
Did she cheat, though? What were the rules?
Not literally, but you know what I'm saying. She made it a 4-on-3.
To me, she was just smart.
Okay.
She just
if you name the top 5 faces of all time, 3 of them cheated all the time.
Yeah. Well, wait, which are we talking about? Eddie? I'm trying to think.
I don't know. It depends on whoever you name. If you name Stone Cold cheated all the time. The Rock kicked niggas in the nuts no matter what he was. Yeah. That was his go-to.
And according to Bones, Hulk Hogan was a heel.
Hulk Hogan was a heel. The heel was a heel.
Hulk Hogan was the heel. Okay, all right. That's fair enough. But yeah, I'm still giving it a 5.
Yeah, I'm still going with 6. Stay on 6.
All right, next match.
LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Yeah, I did it at the wrong time. That probably tells you how much I really cared about this match. I did not. I never
I got
want to
They
see
something to say
tried.
about that match.
They tried with the build. They really
Oh,
tried, and I
respect that.
appreciate that they tried to make a feud out of something that didn't involve the title, and they tried to make it a blood feud. They tried to make us scared, but
See, I grew up. I grew up in the hood ish. You know, like I grew up in the country, but it was kind of like the hood. But like around the corner from my house is like where everybody, the old people, would all go drink. They would get drunk all the time. Friday, Saturday night, drunk playing the blues. The lady used to sell. She used to sell. She was the bootlegger basically. But what she would do is
you
she would
from
buy a big
Mississippi
thing.
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, she would buy the big thing of Seagulls, right? And she would get all the little bottles that they all left in the yard the night before and fill them back up with alcohol. So she would fill them back up with alcohol, sell them back to everybody, drinking all that love, everything. So I would go up there every so often, you know. Every so often you would see a fight break out where it just falling down and barely struggling with each other. I just watched that exact same fight happen at WWE World between AJ Styles and LA Knight. That shit was trash.
Yeah, that whole match.
That was the most realistic thing I've ever seen in wrestling in the worst possible way.
It sounds like a good thing based off the way you framed it.
That's exactly his point. It was realistic as hell, but it looked bad on TV.
That's why we don't want real shit in wrestling. No
I thought
punches
it was
thrown.
solid. I'm not gonna same with Jay and Jimmy. It
Oh, the
could
match
have been more, but I thought it was solid. I thought
match
it was
was
fine.
That match was terrible.
I just didn't care. That's
I
what it came down to.
ain't
I
really
just didn't
liked the
care
match.
about this.
Because Jay made it was terrible. It had too many missing pieces. They should have had Rikishi for one, and it should have been some kind of I don't know. Jimmy should have won because Jay was already built Jay as being the more superior brother. Just by
You
him,
know-
The lackey beat the guy whose main
hold
event
on,
is
hold
part
on.
of his name.
Literally.
I'm gonna kind of agree with Loveless on that point. And I said it in our chat after that match went off.
Bobby's drunk out here agreeing with Loveless. We gotta give him a break. Let him breathe a little bit.
When Bobby says I agree with Loveless, he
Yeah.
gets brought to the
He
shadow.
gotta
Nah,
go back.
let me
Those are the key
explain why.
words.
Let me explain why Jimmy should have won. Jimmy was already even
Did you have fun with
IWC
that?
community. He was the lesser brother, but he's the oldest brother. To continue that feud, Jimmy should have won because it makes absolutely no sense for him to lose. And he was clean.
Why we want to
You
continue to
should
see
have.
It's WrestleMania.
You
That's
should
where
have.
you end.
See,
feud.
that's what y'all get for kicking me off. You should have just let me explain.
He just made Jimmy like the weaker
Hey,
brother. He's the Matt Hardy of the Usos.
brother.
I probably saved you from you. You was like you started off wrong.
No,
Like
I said it.
if I start snoring at night, my wife wake me up and tell me to start over. I gave you a chance.
No, I said in the chat when the match was over, I said Jimmy needed that win more, but the right person won at the same time.
Jimmy didn't need that win because it wasn't gonna do shit for him because Jimmy ain't shit.
Jimmy's been
Jimmy
presented as a
beat Jay.
lackey.
Jimmy
Yeah,
beat Jay
which
with
is
not
why
letting
that
Jimmy any.
win, which is why that win would have been important for Jimmy since
Let me
he's
explain
been
to you.
viewed as
Let me
the
explain to
lackey
you
this
why
whole
you
time.
100% wrong. Because guess who beat John Cena a few months ago, and it did nothing for him because he's still a lackey. So it wouldn't did Jimmy no good to beat anybody and be a lackey still. Jay on the other hand is his own man. He's already building up, so it's building something for him.
I will push back with Solo a bit because so far it hasn't done anything for him.
No, never.
But they're clearly teasing for Solo and Roman to feud because in the match with Roman later, Solo and they've done this before. Solo was the one that was calling the shots,
Right.
And Roman, because he's insecure and has all these issues, I think that's going to be
Love this is here.
That's going to be a way to elevate Solo, and I think beating Cena is going to be part of that.
I agree.
But
anyway, back to AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
That match was missing something. They should have had AJ Styles turn heel and still getting his ass whooped. Makes no sense. They should have reinvented him and had Carl Anderson and Gallows help his ass or something.
I think they should turn heel too. I don't think there's any point in separating.
All the sponsored teams won. That's what all the sponsored guys won the matches. So it kind of like killed WrestleMania a little bit. And I kind of called that. I said, I bet every person that's sponsored is gonna win a match, and they fucking did. Like literally, when you go back and look at it, every guy that was sponsored by a certain brand won the match. And they kind of like fucked it up.
Because everybody know that Jay wipes his ass with dude wipes.
Yeah. Dude, what?
Moving
All right,
on.
I give that match a 5.
What you
I'm
give it,
gonna
love?
give it a 6.
I give it like a 6.5.
We're gonna do that.
Oh, 6.
We don't do that here. All right. Next up, we got Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. 6.
The white person won.
We'll talk about now.
7. That match was cool. It was cool.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was really good. I really liked it. I thought Logan held himself really well with one of the best in-ring workers of our generation and a professional veteran. I love
And Randy Orton.
What?
He
And
said
Randy
a
Orton.
professional veteran.
Yeah, and a professional veteran.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying he was one of the greatest in-ring workers.
No, KO. But
Okay, cool. We're good.
yeah, I loved the dynamic between KO and Orton. I loved the I Show speed spot. I thought that was great. I really liked all of it. I'm giving it an 8. I thought it was a really solid
I give
match.
it an 8 too, because I think the right person won.
Yeah.
It made sense. It just made sense.
All right, so moving on. Bailey versus Io Sky.
The wrong person won.
No, what?
You,
Stop it.
you
Log off.
stop it. Stop.
Cause they just totally
I don't
demolished
even like Bailey. You gonna make
that whole
me
Mania.
defend
That
Bailey.
show just seemed like jokes.
Bro, you about to make me defend Bailey right now. I'm not even a Bailey fan, but she deserved that moment. She needed that win.
The fans would have been pissed if she lost.
Bailey carried half
The
of
fans need to go home pissed. That was a happy ass WrestleMania. That was the most happiest WrestleMania ever.
Bro, if
Okay,
you were booking
and that's why
WWE,
people
they'd be
call
doing
it the
AEW
GOAT.
numbers right now.
Do you know how many women didn't get beat by their husbands because of this Mania? And you want to change that?
Oh,
Bailey let me down more than anybody else on the Mania card.
first of all,
including
Trev,
Bailey.
relax. We still under an hour. We fine.
I've got to make the point that Bailey let me down more than anybody else the entire WrestleMania by not having the Bailey buddies. She could have came out. She could have started out with the face thing.
He got some
and then play her real
hieroglyphic Bailey bunnies or something. Whatever the fuck it is.
anything.
I'm agree with you, Bones. Yeah, that's that would have been really cool. I
let me down so much. Like, it doesn't need to be a permanent thing. Just tonight, bring out the Bailey buddies, and then go to your new theme, and then walk down.
Why she had no Africans carrying her? Like when she like a Egypt like pyramid in the back. She got some niggas carrying her on herself.
Are there other types of pyramids?
I don't. Well, pyramid scheme.
pyramids. There are pyramids in Mexico. There are pyramids in Peru.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but she, you know what? She didn't channel the Mexican pyramids though.
Black. Like if I was Mexican, I would know too.
I didn't get the Egyptian thing, but I don't
it didn't make sense. Cause she's like Puerto Rican or something, isn't she? She's Hispanic.
She's some kind of Mexican. I'm not sure what country she's from, but she's Mexican.
Yeah, that ass up.
Here you go.
All right, I'm giving the match an 8 also. I thought this match was really good. A really smooth work between both of them. I really like the face plant, the rose plant into the.
I love that.
That was cool.
I love that.
And the right person won. So I'm giving it an 8.
I give it. It was a good match. I give it an 8.
Andre, we don't know what country she's from.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we don't know where country she's from.
We know she's Mexican. Everybody agrees on that.
She thick. That's all that matters.
That is true. That is true. I will give an extra half point for her thick.
I don't think that's a country, Trev. I gave this match an 8. I actually really enjoyed this match. I'm a big EO fan though. And if Bobby didn't hate it, I must be on the right track because Bobby hates Bailey.
Yeah, I think she's the most over.
Bobby hates Bailey more than Loveless hates Logic.
I don't hate Bailey, but when it opens her mouth and speaks into the mic, there is a part of me that cringes. Every time. There's something about the way that she talks. She sounds like You know, those like older women who are talking to children, and so they start sounding like children. That's how she sounds to me, and it's really great.
To me, this the first one-on-one match she had that was really good that didn't involve Sasha Banks.
Because EO is amazing. Like EO is fucking amazing.
I mean,
She gonna get her
my
belt back
opinion.
though.
For the longest, I didn't think she was that good because she couldn't have a good match without the GOAT.
She had Nia Jax's best match in NXT.
Keep naming people until you can think of somebody who she's had a whole bunch of good matches with over and over and over very recently.
Oh, Bianca. Yeah. Also Bianca.
And even when you stop caring about the story, the matches were still cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not great, but they were cool. Considering you don't care about the story, it's hard to have cool matches. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, true.
At least for me, anyway. I don't even that's a whole different thing about me not liking that feud because of how long it lasted and was the same thing.
Trev, shut up. We getting there.
All right, so we get to the main event.
All right.
I already know my opinion on this, so
we might as well leave this to Bones and Randy because they have the two most grandiose opposite opinions of this match.
This was the greatest main event in the history of WrestleMania.
Yep. I give you that.
What else could you have asked for? Even when shit was stupid, it was cool because you were so into it. This match was so good that me, if you don't know me, more than anybody else, more than Jeff Hardy, more than my dad when he left me, I hate Dean Ambrose. I was so excited for Dean Ambrose because I was so into the moment.
You talking, oh shit, they gonna do it. They gonna pull the trigger.
I was like, oh my God, Dean Ambrose. I held my breath thinking Dean Ambrose might come down. That's how much I was into this match. I've never been this into a match before, except for one other time ever. Well, two other times, but you know both of those were Bianca Belair. We know the Bianca Belair thing. That's an unfair comparison for me.
Okay.
I want to know what Randy's going to say so I can counter out all that shit.
Okay. So I will say
one by one.
I will say
going to have a long rant. Maybe write down notes.
No. I'm gonna say two things. The post match, the ending and the post match were 10 out of 10. Everything before that, for the most part, was a big mess. It was a huge mess, and this is why Cody and Seth should have won night one, because it makes no sense to do bloodline rules with heels because they can make the rules anything. Why wouldn't they just make the rule Roman wins? Why wouldn't they just make the rule you can't count Cody's pins, or Cody can't use weapons, but Roman can't? Why would they make it fair?
That's what I gotta add to that. I gotta add to that. Oh, let me say something. Let me say something.
Say something so I sound smart.
Yeah, how they did Rock. How did that tag team match? I thought they were gonna implement that into their single match, like stop the referee from counting and all that stuff. It's like that match was regular as hell when you think about it.
Okay, so
and that's what kind of disappointed me. Like when I saw that tag team, I said, okay, they're gonna pull that same bullshit with their singles match, but they didn't. And they kind of just,
but it wasn't needed either.
Okay, so
do you hate one?
Do you hate every single wrestling match that where the heel has the title? Because why wouldn't the heel just roll out the ring every single time and stay outside? That's pretty much what you're going to when you're saying, why wouldn't he just say The Rock wins? Like at some point it's got to be entertaining. We can't just have him come out and say, hey, you can't count unless
you overthinking on
Roman.
That part.
So you
there was a way around it. There was a way to not have to do any of that. Cody and Seth win. Roman has to defend the title on his own, and he can't. That's it.
Then you don't get all of the stuff that.
Then you don't get the stuff that you just said was 10 out of 10.
What do you? Oh, okay, yeah. With the Seth stuff, I thought the Seth stuff was good, but I don't think it was necessary to make the match work. I think you could have had that. This is kind of what I would have done, because you can still have bullshit happen as long as you have it be countered in a way that makes sense. So like the rules, if Cody and Seth won, were Bloodline can't be ringside, right? So what they could have done is had somebody interfere not being at ringside. Like, I don't know, Solo comes from in the crowd and he stays there, so he's not at ringside. And then Roman wins, quote unquote. But then Triple H comes out and says, like, no, you guys lost. You can't have interference. Match restarted, and then Cody wins. Something like that. That way you can still.
That sounds boring as shit, Randy.
Yeah, I was about to say that shit boring me there.
Nah.
No, good. This looks like that's the kind of booking.
Loveless agrees with you.
Year-old, like everyone comes out, nothing makes sense. Undertaker's
That
there
was
for
the
some
beauty
reason
of
while
it.
he's like
That was
90.
the one time where that was the beauty of it. We loved all that extra shit. We were looking for all that extra shit. The day before, if you listen to anybody, any of us explaining the group, if you listen to any podcast before this match, we all said we want the most overbooked shit to ever happen in wrestling on night 2.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Yeah, but
and we got it.
That's fine. And I don't even think you have to not have I don't even think that you have to not have overbooking, but the booking still has to make some sort of sense. And they're just
right.
Any logic to anything. Why the Undertaker? Look, I get if they meant to have it be Stone Cold and they couldn't have Stone Cold, but Triple H was right there, and he has a real reason to have a problem with The Rock. Why couldn't he have been the one to do it?
A power struggle.
Because Triple H really should do is put his life on the line.
We should have got some kind of power struggle between Rock and Triple H.
We didn't need that. What we needed was what we got. And yes, the Undertaker was probably is the most questionable thing person to show up. But at the same time, you can make it make as much sense as you want to. I mean, if you're gonna do all the head cannon stuff, there's like a million different reasons for Undertaker to come and help. But do you want him to come cut a promo for it?
No, why?
There's like a million different reasons for Undertaker.
He hasn't been active in years. He hasn't had beef with The Rock since the 90s. Why?
He hasn't had beef with The Rock since the 90s. He hasn't had beef with Roman since the last time he fought Roman.
And that wasn't even a beef. They were both faces. And then Undertaker left.
And then Roman beat the Undertaker clean, I think. I don't think he was even bloodline at the time.
Roman beat Undertaker, and Roman came out and said, "This is my yard now. We got beef." That's fine with me. I don't even care. I don't care if the whole thing was Undertaker was just watching and he was like, "Oh, it's smoke out there. You know, I love some smoke." Doom. And he teleports in, chokeslams him, and teleports out. Like if we really don't focus on the fact of why the Undertaker's there, why don't we focus on how come the Undertaker can teleport? And why doesn't he use that power all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of always had an issue with that kind of stuff in wrestling. But I've
always had an issue with you in wrestling, Randy.
Remember, he hates wrestling.
He does hate wrestling.
That's true. Though. I do hate wrestling.
I respect him for saying that, though. Like, you saying that makes me bring me back to center of not being mad at him for feeling this way.
Yeah. There's wrestling that I like, but yeah, I mean, just like with anything else, if I watch a movie and nothing makes sense in it, like I'm not going to be like, well, it's a movie, you know. Like,
I mean, you kind of are though.
Storytelling can be criticized.
Yeah,
you kind of are going to be like, well, it's a movie.
People were just happy Cody won, but the logic behind him winning made no sense. Like the purpose of Bloodline rules for there'll be no possible fucking way he can win. Meaning anything could have shifted.
Mm-hmm.
It could have had a special referee, anything, or the referee was scared to lose his job to The Rock. The other referee, he was scared to lose his job. So why was that referee not scared?
Exactly.
They should have played some kind of consequences happen. Okay, Cody said, "Rock, you're my boss." Anybody that fucked around with that match should have had some kind of consequences. Just how they did it when, like, I forgot, was it bragging rights or some shit?
He's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean,
he should have never, ever, ever won a match at all.
True.
Not one. He shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble. Not one. Not a single Royal Rumble should have ever won. Should never been King of the Ring. He should have never won anything. And if anything, he should have been fired because he Stone Cold stunned his boss years before he became anything.
But technically, Vince McMahon fired him though in the story.
And why would he hire him back? He didn't have to. He could have sent Stone Cold to jail. Stone Cold destroyed all his property. If he wanted to take the title from him, send him to jail. He got to go there for months. Now you can't defend the title. Oh, guess what? It's vacant. It doesn't.
That was Vince era though. Vince didn't make sense in general. We just accepted it because we like wrestling.
We've seen. No, I mean that's true. I don't think that's an unfair point. If you want to make a case for that, Vince's ego made him keep Stone Cold around so he could beat Stone Cold. You could say that.
But he didn't want him around. But we know that Vince did not want Stone Cold around. He wanted Stone Cold to not have a job and never have a title.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Vince just make sure he didn't have a title? Why would Vince let him get title shots? Why wouldn't Vince put him in a match against 30 people and say, if you don't win this, you never get a title shot again? We've seen Hulk Hogan fight 30 people before.
I don't think any of that's unfair. The fact that you can point to things that we love and show like logical holes doesn't mean we should ignore logical holes.
At a certain point, though, you're like, well, this match was not that good because it was not a plain regular match. That's pretty much what it boils down to. The only thing that would have made sense is if this match was plain regular match. If it wasn't vanilla,
I just complimented the iShow speed spot in the other one.
But we're talking about this match though.
No,
this particular match.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not against interference inherently. Like, as long as it makes sense, as long as there's a reason for it and it makes sense within the context you're doing it in.
I hate when you sound intelligent when you're saying stuff I don't like.
I just feel like it didn't matter in this match because we were looking for it. The psychology of the match is that we were looking for what could top the next thing. So they used that psychology against us to be able to do over the top shit that they knew that we weren't gonna care about.
Hold on, Bones especially, because we just talked about Roman taking 2 crossroads, getting back up, and then spearing again, and you were like, "That was some bullshit." That was
stupid. I hate this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So why are you so selectively criticizing when things don't make sense? Because that didn't make sense, but the Undertaker showing up for this match made sense.
If Undertaker no sold the rock bottom, may be different. If Undertaker takes any move, he should die. In my opinion, and that's also if anybody knows how I feel about the Undertaker the past 10 years, if Undertaker takes any, that's a different type of psychology. Like, I get what you're saying, but that's not like in-ring psychology. That's just like the explanations of why anything. That's more booking.
It's the same thing with like any
and I'm with you
or any movie. Like there's certain internal logical frameworks that you create and make an expectation for in the viewer. You have to follow them. Otherwise, nothing makes sense. And there's no point in paying attention to anything. You can't invest in anything.
The greatest storytelling payoff in the past decade. I wonder if he's talking about that time that we barely saw Seth Rollins on camera.
I don't know which one.
That shit was great.
I don't know that match. You know what? I'm in my feelings about Roman losing, so I'm gonna be very biased with it. But the logic behind when Jey Uso came out, it's like, I don't know. I mean, when Eric Bischoff was general manager, he punished everybody that went against him. The Rock should have that same logic. It would at least make a little bit more sense.
Why y'all laughing?
The way you just pulled up, and then the way you was looking too, like you intently being here the whole time.
It's like I was listening to Loveless cook, man. I was letting them cook, bro.
Yeah, Loveless cook like you, chicken in the microwave.
Add a little seasoning, put aluminum foil in the microwave too. Had a little sizzling spark to it.
Hey, chill out.
I feel like you've done that before.
You know some experience.
Shit.
All right, Mar, what do you think about what we was talking about?
I have no idea. I was just
We're talking about Roman versus Cody. We at the end.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I came in at the right time. I could see this going. I could see this. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I was rooting for Roman to retain.
Me too.
I understand why you put the strap on Cody. Pause. No,
why would it be obvious that you're looking for Roman to retain when you're a black man in America? Like, are you enjoying all this motherfucking freedom?
Anyway, the reason why I see why they put the championship on Cody is because, I mean, y'all saw what Triple H and Stephanie said when they came out, on night 1 and night 2 at the start of the show. It's a new era, so they want to go into a new era with a new champ and kind of rock with somebody that's say what you want about Cody, man. That man is he's polarizing, man. You know what I'm saying? He if you was there, man, he probably had the loudest pop in the whole weekend. Like,
oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
so here's the thing: I don't think your money's gonna dip. I don't think your popularity is gonna dip just because Roman don't have the joint no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
No.
It's cool, man. I'm glad they finished the story, but now what? Where they gonna go with this shit now?
We're gonna have to see.
Where were they gonna go?
It's,
With
it's
this? You know,
obvious.
this,
It's
this is
obvious.
title.
Well,
It's not obvious.
no,
It's
no.
not. It's not obvious. But y'all be being weird about that.
Real
Like, what's
quick,
gonna happen
because
next? What's always gonna happen next? That's always the thing.
No. I mean, they already set it up. Obviously, at some point in time, Rock is getting back into the storyline with him.
yeah.
So
Who
they
knows how
already
long
made
that'd be?
that.
That might never happen.
You mean like
just
next,
Roman Rock
next,
might
like
never happen.
Backlash next? And yeah, because there is a question there because Roman's out because of leukemia, and then The Rock's going to make a movie. So who's like the next big
Who
star?
said Roman was out because of leukemia?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you didn't see the rumors? Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's a rumor. It's an incorrect
there's
one.
rumors. Hey,
Like
Don't
what happened
talk
was
about rumors around Bones.
what happened was Pat McAfee said that, but he didn't say it in the context it was taken in. So everybody ran with it, and you know how dirt sheets be.
Yeah, that made my heart drop. I hated when he
Somebody
said
explained
that
love
shit.
like Roman answered the question at the press conference saying that he doesn't have
Yeah.
like he's still in remission. He's fine.
okay. All right,
But
cool.
the way it was the way he said that he said like Roman's battling cancer, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, Roman's battling cancer." You think that's how we gonna find out about it from Pat McAfee on the broadcast?
Real,
Okay.
all right, real quick, y'all, because there's one more argument point that we gotta have. So, what do y'all give the match as a whole?
Oh, you talking about like a
match
5
rating.
rating?
Out of 10, you know how we do.
Oh, out of 10? Oh, bro, that shit had everything. That shit had storytelling from 10 years ago. Part of that shit. If my thing is what can you find bad about that match? I don't. To me, it was.
You missed that conversation.
Yeah, you missed that conversation.
Yeah, you missed the whole thing where we had a debate about exactly that.
It was some bad points, but you know, it was.
Undertaker been beating your whole family up for 20 years, bro. 30 years.
Hey, that's funny. Somebody made like a little clip of that. Like Undertaker been whooping his whole family for like since he came into that shit.
I mean, if you like you breaking that shit down to like that, then I mean, hey,
Actually, I wish you were here because you were the one who explained to me what his biggest thing was. The thing I brought up to you was like I didn't even care about Undertaker wasn't there. Like you had explained it to me earlier when we were talking. That was his biggest thing, though.
Because like if you look at that match and how so obviously it was set up from night one, obviously winning the tag match. All right, so that started that. Well, obviously, I think we could all be honest. Like they've been building this shit for months, but so once the tag match got won by Rock and them, that automatically set that up. You know,
Undertaker teleported to the arena and he was ready.
but look at it. So obviously, Jimmy and Jay were going to neutralize each other. All right. Solo had to get taken out by Cena because Solo gave Cena his last L. So that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Also,
and the next one.
But also, Cena has been beaten by Roman, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, it made sense for the Taker come in because that was, Roman gave him that L at 34.
No.
That don't make sense.
It's a stretch. They were both faces at the time. It was a different Roman. That was years ago.
But I'm saying there's 9 degrees of separation that brings everything together. Like that's part of that whole like.
Okay, so I had two big points because we were just arguing because what is that?
Wrap it up, Box. Wrap that shit up, B.
All right. I made 2 main points against the match. The one is that Undertaker being involved didn't make sense because he has no relationship with any of this.
Yep.
And really, obviously, just because they couldn't get Stone Cold for whatever reason. And it should have been Triple H instead because that would have made way more sense. Because he had all these issues with The Rock and the authority power struggle thing. He could have just hit him with a hammer, and then that would have fixed that entire problem.
Don't you can't throw Paul in there. That motherfucker is like
he literally said that his wires can get disconnected.
Yeah, you got
just one hammer. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, sledgehammer hit would have been cool.
You want Paul to put
Not
his
cool.
life at
Not
risk.
cool.
But you got to be careful doing it. If Triple H hit The Rock, that would have been that power struggle thing I was talking about. That would have opened up a can of worms.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It makes sense that they would have that.
I
They're
give
already
this
kind of
match a
building
10
for
out
it.
of 10.
And okay, well, and
I
the
was
other
emotionally
issue
invested.
was
My
that
heart was pounding. I was screaming at the TV. I haven't screamed at the TV in a long damn time at a wrestling match. So I was mad Cody won,
But it was still
But
a match.
you need to get outside.
but I was invested. That was the most invested I've been in a match, to be honest, since WrestleMania 40, if we're being
Okay,
honest.
so
So
let
I
me
gave
ask
it a 10.
everybody. So
That's
let
the
me
most
ask
invested you've
everybody
been in the
this.
match since this WrestleMania?
You said what?
That's the most invested you've been in the match since this WrestleMania?
Hold on, what'd you say?
That was the
all
most
right, we're
invested
moving
you've been
past
in the
it. We're
match
moving
since
past
this
it.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, with that, because like I didn't want Roman to lose, but I knew he was going to lose. But I wanted to be wrong so
all
bad.
right, what you give it, Randy?
I'm giving it a 7.
What?
A 7?
I'm giving it a 7. The
No,
post
wait,
match.
Randy, this
I
ain't no
thought
damn.
I thought I was
Thank you.
crazy for giving
Thank
it a
you.
9.
This ain't no. This ain't no backlash match. What are we doing?
I'm giving it a 7 because the post match was a 10. The ending was a 10. But the internal match, bell to bell, made no sense, and it was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a mess. Again, the point that I made before
Not a
with
7.
the point that I made before with them before you entered in, if it's bloodline rules, why don't The Rock and Roman just make the rule Roman wins? They can make the rules anything. They said that multiple times.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Why they could have made the rules literally anything? Why was he allowed to use weapons? Why was he allowed to have interference? It doesn't
Why
make
was Stone Cold
You
allowed to
think
fight using his arms? Like
I
Vince
think we
just
gotta
made
wait
rules
and see.
whatever
I
he
think
wanted at any point in
you
time.
thinking way too hard. You being way too
this is just
nitpicky.
basic storytelling. They can do anything. You created that. All they had to do was just have Cody and Seth win the first night, and then they didn't have to do any of that.
You hate literally 90% of wrestling booking.
Hey, but hold on. hey, because I know how Randy thinks. He definitely does. He thinks outside the box. That's okay.
I wouldn't tell nobody that.
But like you, Bobby, you 9? Like you of all people, I swear would have gave that bitch a 10.
It's a 9. It was great. It wasn't the greatest WrestleMania.
The reason
main
Bobby
event.
does not
it's a
want to
9.
give
It's
it
a
a
9. You're right.
The
Now that
reason
I think
Bobby
about it, it's a 9.
gonna give it a 9 and he doesn't want to is because if he does, he has to admit that WrestleMania in 1992 sucked.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Shut up. I give it a 9 because it was kind of slow at the beginning. I'm not giving it a 9 because of Randy shit.
What?
I loved it when it was slow.
I'm not giving it a 9 because of Randy shit. That's what the shit Randy giving it a 7 for is what made it almost a 10.
Yeah, that 7 is wild as fuck.
I
But
never been more entertained. I never been
But
more
it's valid though. But it's real valid.
And emotionally invested,
That's wild.
especially for that long of amount of time in my life.
It's valid because when you watch the match again, and you'll see how that match basically the interests could have been better. It was like to me those were mid interests. The interest wasn't that good. That were.
Wait, hold on.
Man.
Did you miss that interest, Loveless? Your man came out like the old school Triple H did. There was nuggets in that, bro.
But it was still mid though.
All right.
Oh, bro.
Okay.
The entrances were cool. The entrances were really cool.
There's one more point, one more argument that we need to make while he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns, greatest championship run of all time. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Easily.
Yep.
By a long shot. It's not even comparable.
Yep.
I'm gonna put it second under Bruno Sammartino.
You didn't see Bruno.
You saw Bruno Sammartino wrestle.
That's what I told him.
Let the man talk.
That argument doesn't make sense.
Nobody on this screen is old enough.
It's not even just
you didn't watch old clips of Bruno Sammartino.
It ain't even just that though, because I agree that you don't have to see something to know it's great, but you know nothing about Bruno's reign whatsoever, other than it was long.
That's not true. I knew
What else you know?
that was the best
Who you
gates
fought?
that WWF had pretty much ever done. Was
Not,
Wilder.
It's on Peacock.
not nearly as good as Roman's Gate.
That's not
He has
true.
some Peacock promos.
Even if you take the money
I
from
can't find no shit about Bruno Sammartino, and I be
Bruno-
googling and YouTube and some
Bruno's
shit.
gates were way bigger than the current gates.
inflation. Even if you take inflation into effect, Roman made more money. So does Stone Cold.
Bruno
absolutely
wrestled
not
when the ropes
Hulk
were
Hogan.
loose. They couldn't even have high flyers back in the day. Niggas could not do springboards during the Bruno Sammartino era.
Was that
They couldn't, like them loose ass ropes.
what does that do with anything?
Them
Like
roots
I told you,
was
it's
looser than
not-
prostitute vagina. Like, come on now, that was you can't even. Rey Mysterio couldn't even wrestle
And
back
here's another
then.
thing. You have to take into account level of difficulty.
That's
Because
what I'm
don't
telling
care.
you that.
When you
No,
take
okay,
somebody
but-
like Bruno, Sammartino, and everybody thinks he's actually beating people up, and he doesn't have to do shit, but actually look like he actually beats people up, because we think he's really fighting people. It's way harder in a world when everybody knows that you're not really beating nobody.
But there's absolutely a counter to that. First of all, a big reason that WWE is making as much money they are has nothing to do with gates. It used to be entirely gates. Now they have sponsorships. They have a movie studio. They
But
have
also,
video
still, their
games.
gates are bigger than they were then,
What?
even if you take into account inflation.
Yeah.
No, all of those things have much more to do with WWE's current success than the individual interest in the product. And
I get that, but we're saying
Randy, give me Bruno Sammartino's biggest rival. What's his name?
The guy who beat him. What was his name? It was Ivan
Exactly.
Cole.
You don't even
know. Like, you know at the top of your head. The guy who beat him. Was it Hulk Hogan?
You're gonna know that Cody beat Roman. In 40 years, you know Cody beat Roman. My thing is, and
This is
also
all
I get
recency
where you're
bias.
trying to go.
Saw it.
Cause we can have a good solid argument except for the fact that these guys are way funny. We can have a good solid argument where I would counter every single point that you'll make consistently when you say Bruno Martino was even, because I'm not even Bruno Sammartino not in my top 5.
Ooh.
At all.
I don't got no footage of him. When you play WWE 2K, he only got a finish move. He got what, body slam? Like the fuck?
You can say that, but
Give me
I
his
want to go back to
moveset.
this point.
What's his moveset?
Oh, his moveset was trash, but it could be
But
trash.
I get what you said. What you were going to get to was that being a draw is not the same as it was back then. So you can't really say
What's Bruno's
Roman
finisher
did,
move?
but you can though, because we know what WWE was when Roman didn't have the belt.
Bruno
what it
wrestled when it was
We know what it became.
WWF.
And we know,
But he
that
also
Roman-
wrestled at a
Roman-
time before the modern. He wrestled at a time before the modern television era, the television boom.
and that's to his credit.
that made it so
Anybody
much
could have been
easier
Bruno.
to do a product.
I could have been
They
Bruno.
could have lied because
Nah,
niggas
I'm
barely
gonna-
had TVs back in the day when Bruno was champion.
You too skinny, bro. Nah,
No,
you too skinny,
even
bro.
being this skinny,
Wait,
I
what?
would have been an anomaly. And when they see me beat everybody up and they believed it was real,
Even if
it would have
you
made me even more
take-
popular.
No,
Anybody could have been Bruno.
You would have been the Riho in wrestling back in that day.
I don't know what that means.
But even if
It
you
means
take
you're small.
everything he's saying about Bruno, I mean, everything that Roman is doing now is harder than what Bruno did. That's the main point.
Anybody could have been Bruno.
don't
Anybody could have
think-
been Bruno.
I don't think that that's actually true. Because yes, you're right in the sense that because people know it's fake, that has diminished the amount of interest in pro wrestling broadly. But again, you have so many ways to access wrestling.
Right.
Let him talk, man.
There are so many things that inflate
What's his finisher move?
the overall success of WWE.
Let him
WWE is
talk.
a multimedia platform now.
A body slam.
WWE was doing well, even in like the end of the Vince McMahon era, before Roman Reigns was doing all the kind of stuff he was doing. Not because people were interested in the product, but because it was a multimedia product that did a lot of money for the company outside of just ticket sales. Back then, ticket sales was everything. At that
Okay,
time.
but we're not saying it's because of
Was this finish
money.
move a body slam
We're
or a
saying-
scoop slam?
Probably a school.
We're not saying that though. We're saying that Roman we're talking about just the gate and all of that. And Roman literally put that he really basically improved all of that.
He
Like,
did.
even without making the money, even when WWE was still profitable and all of that, they were still doing record low numbers. They were still doing record low viewerships, record low gates. Like, just as recent as like 2019, before the pandemic started.
But are we going to say that's all because of Roman?
I'm gonna say it.
It's 80% because of Roman.
80.
I think it's a lot because of Roman.
Cody
but also
Rhodes
And-
being
I went to my
around
first
Roman
WrestleMania because of Roman. That's all I'm gonna say.
dramatically.
No Diddy.
The booking between
even
Vince
agree.
and Triple H was an enormous shift. The fact that Vince was leaving was a huge newsworthy article in and of itself for wrestling. And then Triple H made the booking around Roman so much better.
They were improved.